Start. The Parliament established a Constitution Amendment Committee whose proceedings were studied by legal authorities, and although they unanimously agreed on many principles, one controversial dissent expressed a contrary view that appeared politically profitable despite widespread criticisms. The debate became intimately connected with issues of expropriation, confiscation, and property rights, and it emerged that fair compensation was essential if the legislature and the Constituent Assembly wished to preserve a balanced interpretation of justice. Whether the Constitution could warrant a particular quantum of compensation remained a distinguished question, and the framers precisely recognized that public agitation should not dispose citizens without due process. Their varying opinions, however, elucidates, clarifies, and provides elucidation regarding the magnitude of arbitrary, confiscatory, and expropriatory actions within the purview of constitutional law, hoping that fairness would prevail over public apprehensions. They believed it desirable to avoid treating leaders as semi-divine, rejected offhand judgments, accepted the transitional nature of reforms instead of a static outlook, and acknowledged the prevalence of poverty, making reform vital, though unjustified measures had to be rejected. Citizens had to confront every nuisance and intense commitment to the proposition that lawful acquisition should never become an excuse for ideological conflict between socialist and communist doctrines, both heavily laden with competing promises. While preserving national reputation and goodwill, governments should avoid indulging in isolation tactics, adopt strategic planning, gradually conceive new ventures, and learn from zamindari, abolition, nationalization, and egalitarian ideals, promoting equitable equalization rather than drastic disruption. With the advent of independence, leaders sought to simultaneously industrialize, unlike every predecessor, without deprive citizens or shareholders of legitimate interests through misplaced policies. Universal franchise strengthened parliamentary democracy within presumable constitutional confines, encouraging society to activize and dynamize its faculties for probable progress beyond superficial debates about oppression, attempts to imply or suppress injustice, and persistent oppression arising from inequalities. Both conservative and revolutionary thinkers remained conscious that the consummation of freedom required innumerable sacrifices of considerable value, preventing gross or petty misuse of the public exchequer while resisting exploitation through populist, self-sufficient development and scientific exploration. Leaders categorically declared that progress transforms the prevailing spirit of sufferance into a hopeful perspective, leaving undoubted room to prevent adulteration, reduce disparity, assist the exhausted, ensure funds were earmarked, concede necessary reforms, keep resources allocated through a transparent mechanism, never divert them unlawfully, and notwithstanding every obstacle, faithfully implement policies worthy of commendation. Stop. Every eminent statesman ventured to protect fundamental rights despite intricate political turmoil, appreciating diverse perspectives until the triumphs over bitterness, initial setbacks, seemingly insurmountable challenges, the inevitable tragedy, and historic climax produced a sovereign, never partitioned, and beneficent nation whose emergence inspired lasting optimism and tremendous national resolution. Stop.